So the biggest change that probably everyone has noticed is the erection of the crane to erect the structural steel for the building, which was erected here about 4 weeks ago. When we erected the crane, it came in on 16 tractor trailer loads, and it had a smaller crane to help erect that crane. When the boom is fully extended, it is just shy of 300 feet tall. It's a 280-ton capacity crane, and it will be here for the duration of the steel erection. We'll move another crane in, a similar size crane, when we start on the precast exterior later on this year. We've started steel erection, and we've erected the first 3 floors on not quite half of the building. We will start on the next portion here Thursday in 2 days, and then about a week after that we'll erect the last portion of the first 3 floors, and then we'll start back over on the west side of the building with the next 2 floors, and then coming across the building, and then the final floor and the roof again after that coming across the building. So all that will take until early December. So the steel is being fabricated in Albany, Georgia, and it is shipped up here on an as-needed basis. The trucks are backed into Burton Street here and offloaded off the back of the truck and onto the building. At each column base plate, they've got 6 anchor bolts coming up out of the concrete, and on each anchor bolt they'll have a leveling nut that sits underneath the base plate. So they'll adjust that leveling nut until they get them exactly at the elevation that they need to, and then they'll set the steel column on top of those leveling nuts, and then they'll use shim plates to hold those columns in place and level, and then they'll fill underneath the column with grout that will hold it exactly level. All the time they are using laser instruments to check that all the steel is sitting exactly level and plumb. Right now on this 3-story building, which is about 30-40 feet above the concrete column, we're about an 1/8 inch out of plumb. So really, really good so far. The concrete subcontractor is finishing up. He's got a series of walls over here on the east side of the building. They enclose the ramp that comes up to the loading dock, which is at the 1st floor level. And then also they enclose a generator and fire pump room. And then they enclose the ramp that leads from Church Street down into the basement. So that's the work he's finishing up right now. We've probably got another 2 weeks worth of work down there, and then we'll be done with structural concrete on the 6-story portion of the building. We've started some under slab plumbing and electrical work. We've got the elevator pits poured, and we've started waterproofing the elevator pits and waterproofing the basement walls on the outside. We are getting ready to start out here on the 1- and 2-story portion. Here probably within the next 3 weeks we'll start foundations out there, and that will be the next big change we see as we start work on that portion of the building. So the garage site has been graded, and right now we are working on the drilled pier foundations for the garage. We're about halfway complete. We started about 2 weeks ago. So there's approximately 60 drilled piers underneath the parking garage, and as I said, we're about halfway through them. We started on the Walnut Street side and are basically working up the hill to Maple Street with the drilled piers. Within the next couple of days we'll be starting the foundations that sit on top of those drilled piers. And once that's complete, then we'll start erecting the precast for the parking garage. The precast for the parking garage is scheduled to be here at the end of October, and it'll take about 8 weeks to erect the precast.